So write the heading banking sector in India. Banking sector in India. We start our discussion with the RBI. Then we'll discuss how RBI is using expansionary and contractionary monetary policy. But first, for that we have to discuss what is monetary policy. So, write some factual information. Reserve Bank of India established under the RBI Act. Yes, RBI Act of 1934. And what is 35? On 1st April 1935, RBI started functioning. There was a committee known as Hilton-Young Committee. On that recommendation, government established RBI. But that was the time period of colonial era. Another important landmark period for RBI is Banking Regulation Act. So you write Banking Regulation Act of 49. Although a lot of people are saying these factual information are not important, but let me tell you honestly, if you don't know facts, how will you analyze? You must know the character of a movie, so in order to tell the story. Getting my point? So we need facts. And I'll tell you how to remember all these facts. Apart from revision is the only option, but you can easily remember. So Banking Regulation Act, we can say the RBI drew its power by controlling, or the main functions of RBI. It drew power from RBI Act, but about functioning, Banking Regulation Act 1949 is an important landmark, because in 1949, Government of India took control of RBI. So we can say nationalization of RBI happened in the year 1949. So since 1949, RBI is fully government authority, because in 1934, by the Act of 1934, it was established as a private bank. Another factual information, we have other acts like Negotiable Instruments Acts of 1891. Then we have other acts also. Banking Regulation Amendment Act 2007. We'll discuss in detail later. But by this time, it is important, so you write few lines. Reserve Bank of India established in the year 1935, established in the year 1935 by the RBI Act of 1934, and later in 1949, government nationalized RBI by passing Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So now you will tell me, if RBI has to issue a new license to a private bank, that power comes from which act? Banking Regulation Act. UPSC is now asking application based question. Getting my point? They will give you concept, but in option they will give you some kind of application. So application for this total fact is, if RBI has to issue a new license to a bank, Then, if RBI allows branch expansion, RBI uses power from which act? Banking Regulation Act again. So, if RBI is controlling exchange rate, answer must be from these two only things. So, if RBI uses its power to control the exchange rate, which act will give power to RBI? RBI Act. Because we'll discuss what are the functions of RBI. It's mentioned in RBI Act. So I think you get enough idea that in order to control the bank, we use Banking Regulation Act. Branch expansion, controlling the credit rate, policy rate, changing the methodologies to calculate NDTL, etc. We'll discuss. So you write functions of RBI. Functions of RBI. So first we'll write functions one by one, then we'll discuss extensively, because these functions will have some domino effect, ripple effect in the economy. First one, issuer of currency. First one is issuer of currency. Second one, bankers to banks. Bankers to banks. Next one, yes, if you know, bankers to government. Bankers to government. Banker to government, you write. Banker to government. Third one, custodian of foreign exchange reserves. Custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Next one, control the exchange rate of rupee. Control the exchange rate of rupee. Next one is controlling the credit. Next one is controlling the credit. I think next one is seventh one. Last one, most important, developmental role. Developmental role. In bracket you write a special case of RBI. A special case of RBI. A special case of RBI. Because it is not the case with Federal Reserve. It is not the case with Bank of England. It is a special case with RBI, developmental role. Because no other central bank undertakes the task of development in the economy. Getting my point? Last one you write, one important, but I think it will lose its relevance in the next few years. Manager of public debt. Manager of public debt. Because we have separate debt management authority, but right now government manager of public debt. क्या हुआ? Any confusion? So first one we'll discuss, very simple, issuer of currency. Simple. After demonetization. Demonetization done by RBI. फ्री का क्वेश्चन ही बन गया. RBI. What do you think? Who was the final decision maker of demonetization? Government. Why? Why not RBI? If I say issuer of currency, RBI. At that time, Raghuram Rajan was not the governor. On 4th of September 2016, it was the last day of Raghuram Rajan in the office. And the date of demonetization was 8th November 2016. From September, we have October, November, almost 2 months. Surjit Patel was the governor. But who announced on television? So what do you think? आगे आ जाता प्रिलिमिनरी में क्वेश्चन, हु वाज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर डीमोनेटाइजेशन? सिंपल है, इफ यू नो द कंसेप्ट इशूअर और करेंसी, who holds the power to withdraw currency? RBI. Remember the basic. Basics क्यों पढ़ाया जा रहा है? इकोनॉमी में basics are important. If you consider other subjects, you're writing mains test on every Sunday. But in economics, I have to start from GDP basics, inflation, etc. Getting my point? So remember always the basic part. Who undertakes the task of issuing currency in our country? Then who has the power to withdraw that currency? Obviously. सिर्फ एक केस में छोड़ दो, in the case of president. In any other case, whoever is appointing one single office person, then the single person holds the authority to remove it, leaving the concept of vice president. Because CJI undertakes the charge of oath, and president gives resignation to vice president. Otherwise, president appoints and president removes. So remember the simple case, issuer of currency, main authority is RBI. So RBI is the only authority to withdraw that currency. Bata na? I promise to the bearer of this 100 rupees that this. Sign किसके होते हैं? Prime Minister के नहीं, RBI governor के. Then why Prime Minister was announcing everywhere? Question आ सकता है ना, custodian of the constitution. There was one question in preliminary examination. Pranab Mukherjee said, I am the custodian of constitution. बच्चों का गलत हो गया आंसर, वो न्यूज़ सुन ली तो. कौन है बेसिक्स में? सुप्रीम कोर्ट. हाँ, उसमें लिखा होता है ना, बट आपको पता होता है कि व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट, इसलिए तो आपको सिविल सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, पास करेंगे. यू कैन नॉट टेक, तो याद रखना हमेशा, हु इज अकाउंटेबल फॉर डीमोनेटाइजेशन, फॉर द इवेंट ऑफ डीमोनेटाइजेशन? पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमिटी frequently calls one person. Frequently. Who is that person? If you are reading newspaper, you know. उर्जित पटेल. भाई बंदे ने कुछ किया ही नहीं, क्यों बुला रहे हो उसको? Because by law, RBI is accountable for the event. ठीक है? So issuer of currency is the sole authority of RBI. Legal tender. I'll explain legal tender. Legal tender is simple. Whenever a monetary authority gives legally a piece of paper that this is the currency of our country, what we also called fiat money. So maybe in next exam, maybe in next to next exam, they will ask what is fiat money? It's a legal money. Why it is legal? Because there is a signature of government or governor. There's a guarantee given by the issuer of the currency. Who is the issuer of currency? RBI. And who is the head of that organization? RBI is governor. That is why government signs on the notes. Leaving aside rupee 1, वो सब फालतू क्वेश्चन अब नहीं आते हैं, सेक्रेटरी ऑफ फाइनेंस और ये PSC वाले क्वेश्चन है. But who is the sole authority to issue currency is simple. Legal tender means on the night of 8th November, government announced that we are, or there will be 500 rupees and 1000 rupee notes will not be a legal tender from tomorrow. So it means legally these notes we cannot accept or we cannot use for any transaction, for any settlement. Settlement or transaction means in economics, if I am buying some good, I have to pay equivalent amount of rupee to that. It means there is a settlement between buyer and seller. So that can only happen in a legal tender. If you are paying 100 rupees charge in 1 rupee coin, 100 सिक्के ले आए बोरी में भर के, मतलब थैले में भर के और दे दिए. That depends on the seller. Either he will accept or not. Because beyond 25 rupees, there's a discretion of a seller that he or she will not accept that, because coin पे sign नहीं होते. Getting it? What's the highest denomination that RBI can issue as a currency note? 10,000. आपने तो 2000 तक तो देखी नहीं. We had a rupee note of 5,000 at the time of Janata Party government. So remember the concept when we initiated the process of demonetization. We said that it is not the first time in the history. It was happened in 1978. But at that time, what happened? Government withdrew 5,000 rupee note. And when you compare the size of the economy, when you compare the denomination of the two rupee, 5,000 on the one hand and 500 and 1,000 rupee on the other hand, you cannot imagine the scale. So issuer of currency, simple. Legal tender is clear in your mind. Fiat money, another term. So shall we write something about this? Right. RBI has the sole authority. RBI has the sole authority to issue as well as withdraw. To issue as well as withdraw. To issue as well as withdraw currency from the system. Currency from the system. First job. Now listen, whatever we are writing is the mentioned under RBI Act. Check. No need to write that. Write next line. Legal tender is known as the guarantee given by RBI. The guarantee given by RBI to a piece of paper, guarantee given by RBI to a piece of paper as currency, that is signed by issuing authority, and that can be used for settlement. That can be used for settlements. In bracket you write between buyer and seller, so that आप जब बाद में पढ़ेंगे तो you will realize what is settlement between buyer and seller. So you write fiat money. Next point, FIAT, fiat money. I'll tell you. First you write fiat money. Fiat money, it refers to a piece of paper. On that guarantee is given by the monetary authority. To use it as a currency in the market. So first off, that's it. Difference between what? Token money and legal tender. Token money is simple. If I am saying this is the piece of paper, chalo, these are the piece of paper. You take 3. The cost of this piece of paper is, we can say 5 rupees. Cost means cost of piece of paper plus ink plus printing cost, etc. If I will write 1,000 rupees, this will become a 1,000 rupee note. If I'll write 2,000, this will become 2,000 rupee note. And this will become 5,000. What's the difference? Just our word token. Just the value of this signature. But its intrinsic value is same, 5 rupees. Talking about gold coins in the past. What was the value of gold coins? It depends on their intrinsic value. The value of that amount of gold included in that gold coin. So gold coin of all these size will have the same value. Size. But here, the token value is different on a piece of paper. This is the difference, simple. So token money is given by the guarantee and does not have any intrinsic value. So you right click. Token money does not have any intrinsic value. Does not have any intrinsic value. Does not have any intrinsic value. And whatever the value printed on it, and whatever the value printed on it, and whatever the value printed on it is the denomination of that, is the denomination of that particular note, because of the guarantee given by issuing authority. Because of the guarantee given by issuing authority. So token value. Any doubt in this point? Token money? Suppose, for example, I will discuss it later. 1,000, 3,000, 5,000. Any doubt in this point? First one, issuer of currency. The highest denomination that RBI can issue is of 10,000. Your answer is correct. 10,000. We have never issued 10,000 rupee note, but we have issued 5,000 rupee note. In some books, you will find that India or RBI has issued 10,000 rupee note. Fact is wrong. Book में गलत लिखा है. You can cross check in other places also. RBI document, official documents. Economic survey of last to last year is very important. That statistical appendix. So if you find somewhere, otherwise you just email me. I'll forward you that data, because in the economic survey of last to last year, they have published the data since 1951. So you'll find every trend, everything. That I'll tell you obviously in the class, important trends. But that document is priceless. Obviously in your preparation, as well as obviously when you enter into the services, you will find that document very, very fruitful. Read economic survey word by word. Although I will give you the summary in simple language. Last time आपको दी थी, बहुत simple था. आपको लगेगा नहीं you are reading economic survey if you compare the language of that summary and the original language. ठीक है. So now ठीक है, we'll discuss tomorrow. Enough extension of this class. ठीक है, thank you so much. Have a good day.